you actually may be out and about today, driving around looking at real estate. I don't know. People do that on the weekends, right? We're actually in the studio talking about real estate. We're talking with Amber and Scotty Gifford. They are a husband and wife team working not only in real estate, but specializing in divorce. Many folks who work in divorce, helping people go through it, have been through divorce. They've been there, like myself, like Amber and Scotty, and we don't want you to go through what we went through. And so we've gone out there and we've gotten skilled, and we are here. And so please, please, please listen to the education and information and resources that we provide you. Matter of fact, we were talking about a resource that Amber and Scotty have made available and to you. It's a free informational resource for you, and you can find it again at mydivorcerealestate.com. That's mydivorcerealestate.com. So thank you for sharing that. We always like to share that sort of information, so we really appreciate that. So as we begin to wrap things up here in the fourth segment, we've talked about 6 areas of focus. Ultimately, when we focus on that, we are learning the facts and we are removing the fear. I love that. I'm going to keep saying that. But these 6 areas are that you need to look at and ask detailed, as Scotty said, in-depth questions about the mortgage, about the comparative market analysis, your equity, what's the equity in the house, the title, insurance, the condition of the house, and have a pre-inspection. And the mechanical liens that may be out there. And so these are areas, folks, go ask questions about these, right? Go find a team like Scotty and Amber or your real estate professional, but ask these questions. They may or may not know the answers, so you want to get the answers right. But I'm wondering, those are areas to focus on, but what are the biggest mistakes you've seen in real estate and divorce?
Probably making emotionally based decisions because they don't know the facts. So keeping the house, not figuring out what they need to know in advance, which leaves them being house poor and financially stressed, which we know leads to many other things.
Yeah, and that's why real estate is so critical, because it affects so
in long
much.
term as well.
Long
so
term.
if you have children to care for, you don't want to be house poor. You want to be able to be eligible to buy that home again and keep your credit, in good standing all the way through. Both spouses need that.
Yeah, we want them to grow through this process and be healthy. And as you all shared, one of the things that you want to make sure they do is they can buy another house and maintain their credit. It makes for a very hard recovery if you've got the real estate thing dragging you down.
Yeah, it does.
You've probably seen it more times than you care to, huh?
Yes, and divorce is actually a leading cause of poverty, in the United States after divorce, and then a lot of people it's a big blow to them.
It breaks my heart, and right here, I'm been digging myself out for years. Because of not having that team around. So I want to go back to that emotionally based decision. So therein lies you're not getting the facts and making the decisions on the facts, right? And becoming house poor. It brings me back to a story I heard from a guest a couple years ago right after we just started the show. A friend of mine, Amy Castro, she has she works with pets. I'm drawing a blank right now, but a rescue. Oh. And she had spoken about a gentleman who had been going through a divorce and was so emphatic about keeping the pets, the house, the everything. And we're talking about, yes, I know we're talking about real estate, but we're talking about that emotionally charged decision. And not long after, because he hadn't looked to the future of what he could not only manage money-wise, but manage time-wise, he even gave the pets back. I guess in that story, he had decided to adopt pets. That's how, somehow in there, I can't remember exactly, but whatever, he kept the pets, kept the house, and not long after had to give it all back because he hadn't thought into the future and asked those questions. So it, as you were saying, Amber, that's what brought me to this, is it is so far reaching.
It is. It goes. I'm a firm believer of staying in the present moment, but you also have to think about your future and, where you are going to live somewhere and where you're going to live. If you're used to someone taking care of you and you haven't worked like my situation was, it is terrifying. It's terrifying, and you have to learn the facts and understand where you can go and how you can do it. And there's people that can help you.
There are. And learning those facts, I know we talked about that false expectations appearing real. And that, I guess I just want to go back to that so much. If for the listeners who are out there, sometimes you're afraid to get that information because it is scary. But I'm here to say, and I will throw it to you guys, I think it's scarier by not knowing the information.
I agree. You have to have them. Knowledge is power.
Knowledge is power. I love that. I often say knowledge is power, but the most powerful knowledge is that which is applied.
Yeah, very true.
Right? So it can't just stay in as head knowledge, right? But sometimes you're stuck in that muckety muckness, right, of this emotion, and you need people around you to help pull you out.
There's a great quote I liked about fear. It says that, thinking will not overcome fear, but action will.
Oh, yeah. Who's that by?
That's by William Clement Stone, I believe.
Okay, I love that. You might know of Og Mandino, who wrote The Greatest Salesman in the World, and he speaks to the greatest remover of procrastination is action. And so that kind of drew me there. And actually, you know what the root of procrastination is? Fear. Exactly. Yeah. So that action, and it may just be picking up the phone and calling you guys. It may be getting that mydivorcerealestate.com, that free informational resource. And so you guys have shared so much, and I know that there's so much more to share.
There is.
But I'm just wondering, are there any final thoughts you might have that you feel like it's super important that the listeners hear?
I mean, I'm a female, so for me, it's more emotional. You're not alone. I've been there. There's somebody next to you that's been there. You can get through this. You have to stay strong and learn as much as you can to make decisions and try to keep the focus at hand of what's going to happen later. Where are you going to be, and what do you want for yourself in your life? And how do you do that? And rely on your team. Like, you have to have a team to support you. Always refer back to them.
Yeah, that team is so important. And the thing that I heard in here, and I think you'll hear this with most people who, in fact, do work in divorce, is there's actually opportunity in this situation.
Absolutely.
And I know you may not see it, but if we decide to kind of, and we were talking about this before the show, and put on that victor mentality of looking at what's possible, then that opens our mind versus to that victim, woe is me.
Right.
And so men and women alike out there, you will be okay. We say that often on the show, and you do need that team. Scotty, anything that you'd like to add as far as final thoughts?
Yeah, so, I mean, this is a challenging time you're going through. It's adversity, right? And it's going to be something that is scary, and you're going to want to just ball up some days and just not go outside. But that you got to realize you can't do that you do need to go outside. You do need to make connections, and you do need to seek out help in all areas of your life, right? Because it's a struggle. And but the good news is that in this adversity, that in the seed of that, there's a benefit that is greater than what you're going through, right? You will become stronger because of what you are going through right now.
I love that. And even the word seed, and we're all men and women of faith here. And it just brings me to, I often talk about the mustard seed, right? And I have a couple people I refer to as mustard seed that help me come to my faith. And we don't realize that seed, where it can grow if we really water it, and the harvest that will come. I often say I wouldn't be a divorce coach if I hadn't gone through divorce.
I wouldn't be a divorce real estate if I
hadn't gone through divorce. And a product of 8 divorces, right?
Absolutely.
Yeah. And so it is the opportunity for renewal and growth. And you've got people like yourselves, Amber and Scotty Gifford, to help in this challenging time of adversity, you at least give them a call and don't ball up and stay inside the house. But there are times when we in fact need to do that. But, one of my goals as a divorce coach is to help people with their thinking about the divorce process. And I call myself your thinking partner, but you guys are too, but specifically in the area of real estate. And we need those folks. And so that's what we do here on the show. We talk about the continuing things that we need to think about. And I'm going to keep talking about, in that thinking, we're learning the facts, right? We're learning the facts. We're removing the fear, because we're all here. My guests and I are here to walk the path with you, listeners, and provide you the information and insight you need when you need it most. And so thank you, Amber and Scotty, for being here. We've been looking forward to this for quite some time, and here we are.
Thank you so much. It's been a pleasure. We made a personal goal ourselves to help 100 people this year. Regardless of how that is, we just want to help people be knowledgeable.
Well, you've just hit your goal.
Hope so.
Folks, thank you so much. Thanks for listening today. It's my prayer that this show helps you or someone in your life. Find us at thedivorcecoachinghour.com or call me at 281-944-8043. Thank you for listening today. I'm Christy Stratton, and I can't wait to be here with you each and every Saturday from 1 to 2 p.m. right here on 100.7 FM KKHT, The Word.